The Royal Commission into Abuse in State and Faith-Based Care has today heard from a man so affected by abuse that he set fire to his sleeping father and later in life killed a man in revenge for his hurt. 28 witnesses are currently giving evidence in a 2-week hearing in Auckland. Dr. Rawiri Waretini-Karena is a former child of the state. He detailed his whānau's forced separation from Māori culture over generations and the abuse he endured as a child. Katie Scotcher is covering the hearing and filed this report, and just a warning, some people might find this story upsetting.
Dr. Rawiri Waretini-Karena is an expert on the Māori experience of historical intergenerational trauma, and the seeds of his own trauma were sown generations ago. His grandfather, who only spoke Māori, was taken by the state in 1930 and beaten until he learned to speak English. His father was taken by social welfare officers in 1954 and also beaten. Dr. Waretini-Karena told the inquiry his father passed on the same abuse that he received, and it impacted the whole whānau.
Well, our home was very abusive, extreme violence, extreme childhood trauma. I experienced flashbacks to that trauma. I would go into trance as a coping mechanism for dealing with it.
Dr. Waretini-Karena was taken to the state-run Hamilton Receiving Home for Boys, or Tower Hill, when he was 5 years old. After living there for a year without suffering abuse, his parents took him back home where he met his 1-year-old younger brother. He told the inquiry how he was often left to care for his brother.
I knew I had to look after my brother, but I wanted to go out and play with the neighbours. So I put him out on the porch just so I can keep an eye on him. And I went out and played. I got so engrossed in playing with my friends and neighbours, and I didn't notice that it started raining again. It was only when I heard my little brother crying that I realised that he was getting wet.
He took the baby inside and dried him off, but he caught the flu and died days later, prompting his father to blame him and beat him. Dr. Waretini-Karena told the inquiry he was taken back to Tower Hill months later after another violent episode at home.
When he was assaulting my mother, something in me just snapped, and I just remember yelling at him, and then he started hitting me. My mum got in between and he knocked him unconscious. He was asleep in the bedroom, and I set the bed on fire with him in it.
From then on, he was bullied and abused in state homes and detention centres, and even by foster parents. He told the inquiry he struggled to deal with the trauma, and his anger boiled over when he heard about the recent abuse of a 5-year-old boy. The mother of the boy had told him that the father was the abuser, so he took matters into his own hands.
He told us more about what was happening to his son. That was the time when I realised, on reflection, I was carrying my own psychological baggage. I didn't even know I had it. But hearing that story impacted me to such a degree. I ended up superimposing my own story, my own history over the boy to such a degree. I went and I fought and I killed his father.
He was convicted of the man's murder and later found out the mother had lied about the father's involvement in the abuse. Dr. Waretini-Karena spent 10 years behind bars with 6 other Māori men who grew up in state care. He told the inquiry after his release he went on to explore his culture and heritage, going on to earn a PhD and became a lecturer and researcher for the Māori King. He says the solutions to the current problems facing Māori can and must be found within Māoridom.
Māori need space to take care of their own. I believe we have the capacity to do it. And that's why I advocate that our people work with our people to heal our people.
The inquiry also heard today from some who suffered from the colonial attitude that Māori could not take care of their own. Dr. Alison Green was removed from her whānau as a baby and adopted by a Pākehā couple in 1958. She says her adopted mother was told to tell her she was Spanish because if she grew up Māori, her outcomes would be much worse. Dr. Green says she has spent her lifetime rediscovering her identity.
There is a belief in this country that when children are removed and raised by somebody else, that they will become somebody else. I can tell you that is not so.
The hearing in Auckland will resume tomorrow. I tamaki makoto mō te hōtaka o te ahiahi nei, ko Katie Scotcher ahau.